Story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there, this is CoreTV News on the Hour with Nifemi Oguntoye. The Adamawa State House of Assembly has impeached Governor Murtala Nyako. The development follows the receipt of the report of the 7-man investigative panel set up by the former acting Chief Judge of the state, Ambrose Mamadi, to investigate allegations of gross misconduct against him and his deputy, Balang Gilari. Meanwhile, Gilari, who is a member of the PDP, has resigned his position as deputy governor of the state. The drama that culminated in the impeachment of Nyako has for weeks attracted attention to the state. The Speaker of the State House of Assembly, the all-PDP member House of Assembly, made ceaseless effort to serve him notice of impeachment before the constitution of the 7-man probe panel. Meanwhile, People's Democratic Party has endorsed President Goodluck Jonathan for a second term in office. Speaker Aminu Tambuwal was however absent at the meeting that began at about 9 on Monday night and ended just before midnight. House Leader Mulikata Konde-Adeola told journalists that the PDP caucus of the House specifically asked the president to contest for a second term. On the absence of Speaker Tambuwal, Konde-Adeola said only him can explain his reasons for not turning up. She added the security issues were also discussed at the meeting and that the government was commended for efforts to restore peace in the affected parts of the country. Governors elected under the platform of the People's Democratic Party also held a similar meeting with President Goodluck Jonathan and at the end also endorsed him for the leadership of the party. Meanwhile, PDP senators who were conveyed in a coaster bus to the venue were told they were invited in error. The All Progressives Congress has finally decided to challenge the conduct of the recently concluded governorship election at the tribunal. The decision has expectedly rubbished the earlier position of Governor Kayode Fayemi on the issue following his acceptance of defeat and congratulations of the winner, Ayo Fayose. Rashid tells us more.
The respondents in the petition are the declared winner, People's Democratic Party, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, the Inspector General of Police, and the Chief of Defense Staff. Addressing journalists in Ado-Ekiti, the All Progressive Congress interim chairman in the state, Jidiawe, said the party went to tribunal so as to save the nation from the new scientific election rigging that was experimented in the June 21st Ekiti governorship election.
Our party, the APC, has earlier signaled that we are going to unravel some secrecies surrounding the fiasco of 21st of June. That is the defeat of our party in the gubernatorial election in Ekiti State. And again, the process of election itself has a lot to be doubted, and that was exactly what moved us to say we want to question.
Jidiawe added that Governor Kayode Fayemi conceded defeat and congratulated the declared winner of the election for peace to reign in the state.
The governor, as a governor, does not own the party. It is the party that features the governor. And we are not only taking that decision, it was the decision of the apex body of APC as a political party, that we must challenge some of these gray areas we have discovered in the election. So the statement of the governor, either congratulating the so-called elect or not, he acted as a statesman, as the helmsman of this state till October 15. He is still the governor. And he has the right to protect, and he has the right to do what is right to the largest percentage of Ekiti people. That's exactly what he has done. It is part of his constitutional duty.
The Ekiti governorship election has been widely acclaimed as free and fair, but the petition filed in by the All Progressives Congress will seek to unravel the concerns of all parties involved. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
In the related issue, the resident electoral commissioner Ekiti State Halilu Pai has expressed readiness of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to defend the June 21 governorship election at the tribunal. This follows the submission by the All Progressives Congress of a petition challenging the results of the election won by the People's Democratic Party's candidate Ayefayoshe before the Ekiti governorship election petition tribunal sitting in Ado Ekiti. INEC declared Fayoshe winner of the election ahead of the incumbent governor and APC candidate Kayode Fayemi after polling 208,090 votes to 120,433. The APC had alleged that the election was manipulated using federal might in favor of the PDP. Pai explains that the election petition filed by the APC was in line with the dictate of the Electoral Act 2010 as amended. He added that any aggrieved party or candidate who wishes to challenge the outcome is equally free to do so within the ambit of the same enabling instrument. An association of students in Osun Irawa Group, comprising all tertiary institutions across the state, has declared support for the PDP's governorship candidate at the August 9 governorship election, Iyiola Omishore. The group says Omishore is the right man to rescue the state from what it claimed as repressive regime of the current administration. Franco Molape has the details.
You could mistake them for protesters, but these members of the Irawa group say they believe that Iyiola Omishore is a change that Osun needs in the coming election.
We feel like this is the junction to come out because we can't refuse to die in silence. People don't eat, civil servants are suffering. Our children cannot go to school very well. Social institutions in Osun have been closed down ever since. We don't have a meaningful government in the state to bring on this. And that is why we have gathered ourselves a representative from each of our section across the state to come here this morning to officially declare support for the people's man, in person of Otumba Iyiola Omishore.
They, however, deny links with any political party, but insisted that their campaign is towards ensuring good governance for the people of Osun State.
We are students. We don't belong to any political system. We don't belong to APC. We don't belong to PDP. But we are here today. We are here this morning in order to what? To declare our unalloyed support to the right man.
Some have criticized politicians for raising the hope of the electorates while canvassing for votes. The group's strong belief in the candidature of Omishore was explained by some of its members.
Change is what our group is clamoring for. And the person we believe can bring out this change at the right time is this tested man, because he has been a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He has been one-time deputy governor of Osun State, and all these outstanding experiences he had when he served, and we believe in him. We want to rest our hope and our trust this time around. This time we entrust him also, whether it's going to fail us, whether it's going to what, whether it's going to bastardize the system as well. We are what? We are students. We have every right to declare our right.
The students say they want more attention given to the education sector.
We want quality education, and as youth, there are a lot of things we need. Like we need employment, and again, I think it's the man that can give us that.
The August 9 governorship election in Osun State is beginning to raise agitations for change in sectors where residents expect more, as it is the case with Irawa Group. Frank Omalape, CoreTV News, Ilefe.
Way to security now, the Chief of Army Staff is seeking more public support for the war against insurgency. He also wants Nigerians to be patient with soldiers at the front lines because the war is not a conventional one. Minima made this known at the news conference to commemorate the third quarter conference of the Chief of Army Staff in Abuja. Pat Samuel now reports.
The war against insurgency has been on for a while now in Nigeria, with no end in sight. But the Chief of Army Staff says the army under his watch is committed to checking the activities of the insurgents.
My focus has been primarily on tackling the insurgency as raised by the Boko Haram terrorist group in the northeastern part of the country, and other security challenges in the north central and the northwest, which we have conclusively brought to stability.
Recently, Nigerians have questioned the integrity of the army as they combat insurgency in the country. But the army chief insisted the soldiers are committed to the task at hand.
As you are all aware, our nation is today faced with enormous security challenges. The upsurge in incidents of terrorism has shifted the focus of the general public to the armed forces, and particularly the Nigerian army. Our activities are increasingly coming under public scrutiny, while a lot of patriotic Nigerians, and particularly the ordinary Nigerians, have continued to support the Nigerian army. Others have used the opportunity, and somehow a very small section of the press, to cast aspersions on our competence, integrity, and ability to rise up to this occasion.
On the security situation in the northeast, the army is convinced that the region will soon be stable.
I know the expectation of the Nigerian citizen is that this thing should have been over by yesterday. But the reality is that it wouldn't have been over by yesterday because of the structure and the dynamics of fighting this type of terrorism. Now we are fighting Nigerian citizens. We're not fighting foreigners. So caution must be exercised. And I appeal that we will certainly surmount it.
As troops continue to chart new ways of containing terrorism, the army authorities want Nigerians to continue to exercise patience. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
While President Goodluck Jonathan has assured Pakistani education activist Malala Yousafzai that all abducted Chibok girls would be returned safe. She disclosed this to a State House correspondent after a meeting with the president in Abuja. The global icon also revealed that President Goodluck Jonathan would soon meet with parents of girls who are still in captivity. The report.
She's only 17, but has just had a closed-door session with President Jonathan. Malala's meeting with the president did not go beyond 1 hour, but for the Pakistani activist, it was enough to extract so much commitment.
The promise I make is to make sure that these girls are released as soon as possible. There are some difficulties which he mentioned, such as that it's quite difficult to do a military operation as these girls can be targeted. There is an idea of swapping, but it's quite complicated situation to understand. As far as I know, I think that the government would be able to do it as soon as possible. And it depends on the government because the government is responsible to people. It is people who elected Mr. Goodluck Jonathan as their president, and people believe that he is the father of their nation. So he should be responsible for the duties that has been given to him on the seat on which he is sitting.
A presidency statesman indicates that Jonathan explained at the meeting that the delay in getting the girls back is as a result of safety consideration. Malala and her team confirmed this and revealed that parents of the Chibok girls will soon have an audience with the president.
The president did make promises, and the president said that he feels that these girls are his daughters. And he said that he can understand what would be suffering, how would they be feeling there, because he has his own daughters and he knows what the situation is. And he was really expressing his solidarity with those girls and expressing his feeling of sadness. But as far as actions are concerned, he said right from the beginning, we have been doing our best, but still, as far as I have heard from him, he said that Boko Haram is heavily equipped and they have a lot of weapons. They're really strong in their strategic policy.
In education in Nigeria, Malala Foundation was critical of government spending of 1.5% of annual budget on the sector. But presidential spokesman Ruben Abati said no government has spent more on education in Nigeria than the Jonathan administration.
I think the percentage is more than what has been quoted, and in terms of what has been provided, infrastructure, expansion of access to education, this administration has proven to be really committed to education both at the basic level and also at the tertiary level. I just thought I should make that clarification.
The presidency also noted that as a sign of seriousness, it has lined up measures that will benefit the abducted girls when they are safely rescued, as well as others that have been adversely affected by the Boko Haram insurgency.
The army authorities have launched an investigation into the recent rampage in Lagos by soldiers. Chief of Army Staff Kenneth Menima disclosed these in a chat with journalists in Abuja. Many eyewitnesses had reported seeing soldiers vandalize the buses after one of their colleagues was knocked down by a high-capacity bus, but the army chief insisted that preliminary information showed that no soldier was involved.
I charge all commanders to put measures in place to check acts of indiscipline and misconduct by personnel under their command. The image of Nigerian Army must and always be protected. Perhaps I may digress a little as to the Lagos issue or incident that was almost alluded to the Nigerian Army. This is wrong. What happened, happened. A soldier was killed by a BRT vehicle, and the soldier and the BRT bus were removed. The late soldier, hoodlums, vandals, and hooligans took over and burnt down government property. It is not the Nigerian Army that did that.
The National Emergency Management Agency wants Nigerians to desist from crowding bomb scenes. This, according to the agency, is to prevent further loss of lives from bomb attack. NEMA Director General Mohammed Sidi says experience has shown that most bomb victims are either killed or maimed by subsequent explosions. He was speaking at the meeting called to review emergency response to the recent bombings in Abuja.
Crowd control has always been an issue in managing in response. From the experience that we've had in the agency, most of the victims of bomb blasts, come from secondary attack. People who go to watch what happened. So we try as much as possible to enlighten the public that do not rush into the scene of an accident. Instead, you clear away from the scene and then inform security agencies.
Time to bring a couple of messages now. We'll be back shortly for more stories. Stay with us.
CoreTV News now provide a platform for live coverage of political rallies and electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, People's Parliament from the National, State and Local Government Assembly. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 01453-3407.
Our 24-hour news station. You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. Israel has continued its punishing raids on Gaza but held out for a 13th ground incursion as the world intensified efforts to broker a truce. With Israel's campaign to halt cross-border rocket fire, the Arab League was to hold an emergency meeting to discuss moves to end the shedding of Palestinian civilians' blood and formulate a common Arab stance on the crisis. United Nations Chief Ban Ki-moon has called on Israel to scrap plans for a ground offensive, saying too many Palestinian civilians had been killed as the death toll from its punishing air campaign hits 172, with another 1,230 wounded. The Gaza-based Palestinian Center for Human Rights says more than three-quarters of the victims are civilians. Israel appeared to be holding off, with media reports saying that ministers attending a meeting of the Security Cabinet had decided against putting boots on the ground for the time being. Israeli Defense Minister Moshe Yaalon admits the operation had caused huge damage to Hamas. Meanwhile, Hamas has continued to hit back. And that wraps it in CoreTV News this hour. Join me again at the top of the hour for more. Glad to have you there.